Jesus Christ, really?
Don't forget to become a member of UnrealEntGaming's Patreon for exclusive manga content and early access. Isn't that right, Seth?
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the f***ing crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
Though I will say that this was honestly the only other way out of such a dangerous situation, especially if our heroes were hoping to walk away from battling Lord Grizzlor in one piece, but now that the odds have seemingly evened out for our heroes to have a fighting chance. If they don't take this moment to go and find a way out by defeating Lord Grizzlor here and now, then I'm afraid that all of their efforts will be lost, as they will each perish by the very end.
Our story now continues following the initial events of Goku and Vegeta being shown having to fuse in attempts of having to save Broly and also going as far as to stop Lord Grizzlor, as with Gogeta now having to be shown redirecting his focus in addressing Broly before having to battle Grizzlor was when Gogeta then went on to quickly respond. Now listen to me, while I know that the rage that burns within you is immense, I need you to focus because this isn't a battle that we can afford to lose, especially not now, and so I need you to try and go and control your emotions and stabilize your power, because there are many who are counting on you to fight with purpose here, and that includes both Shilai and Lemmo as well, Gogeta says. For Lord Grizzlor is a threat that is unlike any other, with his power being unlike anything that we've ever encountered in battle before, and so I'll need you to go and listen, Broly, for it was like I had mentioned to you before, because even though you and I aren't really known for having a passive history with one another, if you continue to lose control and if you become a danger to our mission, Gogeta continues, then you will leave me with no other choice than to deal with you myself, and you can make no mistake about the fact that I will finish you. Because although I truly don't want to go as far as to fight you, I'll do whatever I must to ensure that we can face Lord Grizzlor without the threat of your uncontrolled power getting in the way. And so with that said, you have been warned, Broly, and now back to you, Gogeta went on to then turn towards Grizzlor, because while I acknowledge your power as being nothing short of monstrous, Kakarot and Vegeta's fusion, on the other hand, brings together two of Universe 7's most powerful mortal warriors and magnifies their power far beyond where it once was, Gogeta says. For we will now go and ensure you that even a god of destruction such as yourself can also be challenged by mere mortals such as us in battle too. And while we don't have all of the time in the world to be wasting just standing around here talking to you, Gogeta says, what do you say we just go and skip the warm-up here and jump right into the action, since that's why we're here, Destroyer, with Grizzlor responding, yes, now this is more like it, because now we're talking. But let me ask you something, do you honestly think that your fusion makes you as invincible as you think that it does? Because you certainly wouldn't be the first fusion that I've went to war with against, but you just might actually be the last, for I relish at the challenge that you present, fusion, as it's been a very long time since I felt so alive like this, for I will savor every moment of this battle, along with every cry of pain and every drop of blood that I can, in knowing that I was able to obliterate Beerus' absolute best, and by doing it all by myself. So prepare yourself, fusion, for this battle is going to be unlike anything that you've ever experienced before, as I will go on to show you the true meaning of terror along with the true power of a god of destruction, the likes of which is feared by so many, including by your very own destroyer back home, mortals. And so now don't say that I didn't warn you that this would go and happen, because first I will ensure that you see, and then I will ensure that you are all destroyed. So for your sake, I hope that you were able to back up the things that you had mentioned, because I most certainly can, Saiyan. To which it was only then seconds later, as Lord Grizzlor was then shown powering up with fury and rage behind his intentions, was when Angel Generator then went on to chime in. Now I see, for I do believe that in order for Lord Grizzlor to be showing going this far and exerting all of his power on the surface to face off against the mortal fusion, would it only mean that Lord Grizzlor recognizes the threat of their fusion and is also looking to respond accordingly as the end result of their battle is to come, with Gogeta then having to respond, incredible, and so it's looking like he's ready to go all out against me, since he more than likely now knows that this is going to be the real deal from here on. And if that's going to be the case, and if he's planning to go all out against us, then we might as well just go and do the same. To which as soon as Gogeta was then shown having to jump from his base level all the way to Super Saiyan Blue, it had only become fairly evident now that both Grizzlor and Gogeta were looking to go all out from the very beginning, as Angel Generator then went on to respond, amazing, what an unbelievably astonishing battle power, as the fusion's transformation has brought forth a level of strength that I certainly did not anticipate would come from them, as their energy signature is unlike anything that I've seen come from these mortals before, and because if what I'm sensing that's coming from them were to be true, then it would seem as though their fusion truly may be able to contend with Lord Grizzlor's overwhelming might in battle after all. But although it's still far too early to tell, this here only now begs one very important question that remains, and that is which one of them will truly remain by the very end. Will it be Lord Grizzlor who will stand victorious over the Saiyans, or will it be the fusion who will shockingly prevail over Universe 17's mighty and fearsome god of destruction, alongside their ally Broly as well? Cause now I can't help but wonder on what the result of this will be. To which in the meantime, back on over onto the battlefield, as Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta was shown having to unleash a fury of attacks with Lord Grizzlor shielding himself, was when Gogeta then went on to quickly respond, it was a mistake to have continued to go through with this, especially since we tried to reason with you the first time, but now that we are at our strongest, it's time for you to go and see as to what Universe 7's mightiest are really all. It's time for you to go and experience firsthand on what Universe 7's mightiest warriors are really made of, Destroyer. Now this is more like it, Saiyan, and here I thought that I would have burned both of you to the ground by now, but I guess I was wrong to have taken it easy on you when I did, but make no mistake about it, you won't be the last man standing in the end, Grizzlor says, in which with Grizzlor then shown having to attempt to bite down on Gogeta, with Gogeta quickly shown having to lean out of the way, was when Gogeta then went on to respond, surprised by my power, aren't you? For I told you that this wasn't going to be as easy to deal with as it was when you faced off against Kakarot and Vegeta alone, but while I've went and faced many powerful foes in my time while separated before, there have only been a very few whom I've seen that were able to match our level of destruction and aggression in battle, Destroyer, but in the end it'll be your hyper-aggression and unstable nature that will ultimately be your undoing. And while you claim that we were the ones who were responsible for disrupting your plans to hibernate, since you seem to already be starving, then why don't you go and just eat that? But then, it was only from out of nowhere, just before Gogeta even had the opportunity to finish his sentence, was where Universe 17's God of Destruction Grizzlor had taken it upon himself to grab onto Gogeta's leg, and from there having to be shown slamming Gogeta down on the ground, with Grizzlor then having to respond, enough of this, puny mortal, for let this serve as yet being another reminder among many more that I have in store for you, in knowing who and what you are going up against here, Saiyan. And so just because you were seemingly met with overwhelming odds and had overcome them in your universe before, it doesn't inherently mean that you'll be going and doing the same here in my universe, mortal. And so whether you've merged together into becoming one singular fighter or not, you won't be so lucky to escape me once I start to devour you little by little, Saiyan. But then, it was only just upon with Grizzlor shown slamming Gogeta around, with Broly quickly shown making his way towards Grizzlor, was when Angel Generator then went on to chime back in. Oh, and there goes the wild card throughout this entire ordeal, for Broly's presence in this battle is a little concerning, but I figured that he would continue to lose himself himself out there and go right after Lord Grizzlor again. However, his actions, which are solely being shown driven by his instincts to survive, is what essentially makes Broly a significant variable in this battle, as well as also being an extremely dangerous one if this continues. But I am curious, however, in essentially being able to understand and seeing as to where Broly will stand if either one of them are able to push Lord Grizzlor off to the sidelines for a brief moment, because given from what I have seen and still continue to see that is brewing within Broly's very spirit, and I honestly don't think that he will ultimately align himself in standing with the fusion, but instead, and I do believe that given whatever history that these two mortal warriors may share, Broly then went on to look on up by turning his head, will it not only be the trigger point in what will drive the Brood in turning against his fusion ally, but, and I do believe that this itself will now spark a new conflict between them, enforcing both parties to be placed against one another and finally settling the score between them. Hey, whoa, just wait a minute down there. We aren't fighting against you throughout all of this, Gogeta went on to then plead with Broly, and so therefore we are not your enemy, Broly. So just try to calm down because I really don't want to go and fight you, let alone even go as far as to hurt you, and so you've got to just take a second to hear me out and know that I am on your side in this fight. But it was already too late, because as soon as Broly was from there shown dashing right towards the sky, with Grizzlor then shown having to sit back up, was when Angel Jinray went on to then respond. Well, it was as I thought, which only now means that with the Saiyan warriors now at war with each other, would it only go as far as to ensure Lord Grizzlor further victory against them, for this could ultimately be the greatest moments that he will have in catching them both when they aren't looking above, as I can't seem to help but wonder as to how this will go, to which as Broly was then seen attacking Gogeta, with Gogeta shown having to put up his guard, was when Gogeta then went on to quickly respond. Oh no, Broly, stop this madness and just try to listen. This is not the time for us to be fighting one another like this, for your attacks are putting all of us at risk here, and if you don't stop, then you will leave me with no other choice but to put an end to your rampage myself, and so I need you to focus, Broly. But with Broly now beginning to show no signs of having to stop, but instead having to continuously attack Gogeta, was when Gogeta then went on to continue. Oh shoot, it's no use. And with our attention redirected, there's no telling on what that God of Destruction is planning down there, and so therefore I am now left with no other option than to quickly engage if we hope to make it out of this in one piece. Alright, now you've got my attention, Gogeta went on to then dodge one of Broly's attacks, because since I tried reasoning with you earlier by reminding you of what would go and happen if you went and did this, since you aren't going to listen, then I am going to force you to listen whether you want to or not, Broly. So you puny little mortal rodents want to go and play a little rough, huh? Grizzlor responds. Well, okay, let's play rough then. So here, one for each of you, so that way we can keep this as fair as possible. Grizzlor went on to then spawn 2 Hakai orbs in his arms, and so now this is what you universal intruders get for coming into my universe and attempting to call the shots around here when I'm the boss. And so now this ought to fry the both of you enough to be consumed, and I can't wait, because I can already start to smell the taste of your flesh after giving you a good burn. Now here's to you both, Grizzlor went on to then fire up above, as I could go and care less on which one of you I were to destroy first, as I promised you both that you would lose, and that is exactly what is about to go and happen. Wait a second, and just what are those? Gogeta went on to then stop one of Broly's punches by having to look on down. Oh no, they're completely dense and extremely void, which means that God of Destruction is going for broke by trying to shred us both down to our very atom, and so I just can't continue to engage here without having to hurry and try to put a stop to this before it's too late. Damn it, and so now hurry and get out of the way now before those blasts are able to make contact with us. Gogeta then went on to push Broly out of the way, and so I've got to go and act fast, because with no time left for me to spare, it'll all come down to this, and so I'm hoping that this works. So here goes. Punish Punisher Shield! In which seconds later within that moment, as soon as Grizzlor's attack had made contact with Gogeta's Punisher Shield and creating a massive blast above was when Angel Jinrei then went on to respond. You know, I must admit that I truly didn't expect to watch this battle turn out the way that it has thus far, and especially when considering whom those mortals are going up against at the moment, but what I wasn't expecting to watch unfold was seeing the way these mortal warriors continuously try and find an escape method against Lord Grizzlor, more so when they all should have been destroyed far earlier than they have, and so I wonder what this means, as Gogeta then went on to chime in. Well, that was an extremely close one just now, but if I didn't go and throw that shield up in time, then that more than likely wouldn't have ended up good for either of us up here, but wait, there was a second attack just now, and so could that mean... Oh no, it does! Gogeta went on to then glance on over by seeing Broly struggle with the second attack, and as he's struggling to keep the attack from consuming him over there, but why isn't Broly trying to blast the attack away or do anything of the sorts to move it away unless... No, he wouldn't, but indeed Broly did, because as soon as Broly was from there shown out of rage having to redirect Grizzlor's attack right towards Gogeta was when Gogeta then went on to continue. Wait, no, what are you doing? We aren't your enemies here, Broly! Oh, damn it! It's heading right for me, and so just great! Oh, this is bad, and since Broly doesn't appear to be remembering what it was that I told him, but appears to be solely acting off of his instinct and likely his memory off of our battle from before, there's just no way of getting through to him like this. And with our power seemingly being dead even with Lord Grizzlor, as Gogeta continues, as long as Broly continues to get in the way of our mission to defeat Lord Grizzlor, then we're stuck. Oh, darn it, there's no use, Gogeta continues. His attack is way too strong for me to hold out on after dealing with the first attack, and with the amount of force behind Broly's throw and helping push Lord Grizzlor's attack straight into me, I didn't think that I'd have to go and try this, but if I don't go and do something right now, then it's all over. And so whatever happens now, I've got to place my faith within my ability to be able to pull this off, and so it's all or nothing. And so whatever happens now, I've got to place my faith within my ability to pull this off, and so it's all or nothing. But then, it was only just with Gogeta being overwhelmed by Grizzlor's massive attack, with Broly then shown having to blast into Grizzlor's own attack, was when Grizzlor then went on to chime in. Well, would you look at that, for it would seem as though your so-called ally still can't appear to distinguish friend from foe, which is exactly what I was hoping to have happen between you both. And so, now that one of your very own is occupying you for me and having to garner your attention in the meantime, you just went and made my job that much easier for me, and you didn't even realize it, mortal. Well, too bad, because it's your grave up there and not mine, Grizzlor went on to then clench his fist, to which it was only then as Grizzlor was shown having to do so, with the massive explosion then being shown taking place up above him in the sky, was when Angel Jinrei went on to then chime in. Well, what an incredibly massive and dangerously powerful collision, for typically if this was anyone else, then the fight between them wouldn't have came close in having it last for as long as it was shown lasting out there, but did it work on them is the question. I wonder now, because even though Lord Grizzlor's energy of destruction attacks are unparalleled by its very nature, I can't help but shake this feeling of uncertainty that I have, because I know that Lord Grizzlor can also sense something strange that is coming from above him as well, for the fusion's power has suddenly gone cold and disappearing without a trace, and so was Lord Grizzlor successful in eliminating the fusion altogether just now, or is the fusion up to something far more sinister up there, for I can't help but wonder on if this is a part of a much larger strategy on the fusion's end, or if Lord Grizzlor's attack had truly done what it was needed to do in eliminating them, and so I wonder as to which one it is, to which as soon as Broly was then shown having to emerge from the smoke and having to dash down towards Grizzlor was when Angel Jinrei then went on to continue. But of course, and while I knew that the monster Broly would still remain intact, only now appearing to be far more enraged than how he was shown being before, from what it looks like based on what I'm now beginning to sense, it would appear as though the fusion is not only alive up there, but what is this sensation that I feel that is coming from them, Jinrei questions? For their energy appears to be growing stronger and stronger, and so what could he be planning up there? Unless... wait... Is it possible that they are about to reveal the unthinkable against Lord Grizzlor? For if one of them is already able to wield it, then certainly that would imply that their fusion would be able to wield it too, but can it really be done? Because if what I suspect to be coming from within that dust cloud up there are to be true, then I'm afraid the odds that were previously shown being stacked in Lord Grizzlor's favor will no longer be at play moving forward if this were to be true, as it was only right then and there now during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of the resurrected fallen gods of destruction, the Universe 17 Saga, manga chapter number 8 special then comes to a close. Hey, what's up everybody? I look like shit right now, but I wanted to give you guys a quick little update as to the chapter that you all have just seen go down, and to kind of give you a little bit of information moving forward as to why I did what I did. Now, for many people that have seen Gogeta Blue go at it with Grizzlor would assume that Gogeta Blue would be enough to stomp out Grizzlor, and I mean, debates aside, if you want to kind of go as far as to argue that or not, my whole thing was I wanted to kind of introduce new levels of destroyers, certain destroyers that could at least be able to contend with fusion. As a good example of that would be, you can't really compare Gogeta Blue from the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie to Beerus now post superhero, right? Different power scaling, of course, that Gogeta essentially being weaker than a hypothetical Gogeta now, and things of that nature. So if you were to put Gogeta Blue back then against Beerus, it could be, I guess you could say, a contender-like fight. I guess you could either argue for Gogeta or Beerus. If you were to put Beerus up against Gogeta now, then I think Gogeta stomps Beerus out in the main continuity of Dragon Ball, right? But I wanted to kind of go as far as to have a destroyer be so strong that not even Blue was able to fully take him down. He was able to contend with him. So I kind of want to go as far as to argue to say that Gogeta Blue and Grizzlor are just about like the same, you know what I mean? And so what is about to happen moving forward is essentially going to, I think, be very cool. It may not be everyone's cup of tea in terms of what I do, because I'm saving some stuff. I mentioned this during my update video, but everything's gonna make sense down the line, especially for the top 5 strongest, because only then are you going to see, oh, he didn't do this in the previous story because he was saving it for this. So Broly is going to come into his own, give it time. Gogeta Blue and Grizzlor are even, so even if, let's just say, they're both at a destructive level, they're even. It was because of Broly that kind of resulted in Gogeta being sidetracked and kind of, you know, taken off guard for a second, but with what Jinrei kind of, you know, sensed beneath the smoke, hidden beneath the smoke, is I think something that is going to be really cool moving forward. So I'm gonna try to get this entire series done, hopefully around, or just around before maybe the summertime is over. So we'll see how that goes. The Merno sequel is going to be dropping, dang, I believe at the end of next month, or sometime by the end of, or towards the end of next month. So that's going to be cool. More details on that later. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, ask me. And with that being said, hope you guys have a great day. I'm tired as shit. I am exhausted. I'm going to try to get some sleep. I'm working on several stories that I'm documenting to show you guys in the near future very soon. So God bless you. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.
Hello! Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to UnrealEntGaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi!
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.